Hello there and welcome to my channel. My name is Zumi. So today I'd like to share with us some basic things you need to know if you are desiring to relocate to Canada but you don't even have a clue as to how to begin the whole process, okay? And I'd like to start by saying that in the past like 2 months plus now, I've been receiving calls every week from people back home, friends, family, people that are desiring to move to Canada but they don't know how to go about it. So they want to know, since I'm already here, they want to know how can they do it. Okay, and among all the people I spoke with, many of them, like, they kept saying things like, okay, I've heard of Canadian visa lottery, how do I go about it? And I had to tell them up front that there's no such thing. And I'm also going to say it here, Canada visa lottery is a scam. If you go online now, there are so many adverts and all such things, you know, and even like on the streets, sometimes from time to time, you begin to see all those things. But there's no such thing as Canada visa lottery. It is a scam. And I was actually duped some time ago. That was around 2010 when I saw posters that were advertising that Canada had a visa lottery. And I thought I would, try my luck. And so I paid the money, I downloaded the forms, I filled everything, and I sent whatever I was told to send to wherever, okay? But then, of course, no one got back to me because it's a scam. But then many people, why they have, like most people have not realized that it's a scam is because it's called a lottery. So if you don't get any reply, you just feel like, okay, I wasn't selected. And so those scammers are out there making money from people that think that they have actually, taken the step to try and relocate to Canada. So I want you to know that if you are thinking that, okay, there's this Canada visa lottery, let me go and try it out, don't even bother. If you go to the Canadian immigration website, you're going to see them. They have written it already there that they don't have any such program. I believe that the US has such a program, but I know for certain that Canada doesn't have a visa lottery program. And so I thought I would start by mentioning that so that you can put it out of the way if you are planning to or hoping to relocate to Canada. And then the next thing I want to say is that Canada has programs. If you are planning to relocate to work and live in Canada permanently, there are programs that the Canadian government has put in place that welcomes new immigrants, okay? So many people don't know that there are such programs. They think it's really so hard and almost impossible for them to have the privilege of working and living in Canada. And so what most people do is that they apply for visas, and once they get that visa, they're like, this is it. This is my ticket to Canada. And so when they relocate, they don't even look at the visa anymore. They allow it to expire and all whatnot, and then they begin to just live here and begin to hustle. But I just want to say that I don't even recommend it. Even if some people, maybe when you tell them, they're going to be like, okay, you're already there. That's why you don't know what we're going through here. That's why you're saying. But I tell you, it's better for you not to even come to Canada or to travel anywhere abroad than for you to travel without the necessary papers. I'm telling you, because people that even have their papers and everything in place, they're not finding it easy. Because first of all, when you come here, there are so many things you have to begin afresh, okay? And then that is for even people that have their papers, okay? Not to talk of someone that comes without the right papers. They're going to be living in, like, they're not going to be happy because, first of all, you can't even work here. You can't get a good job. So even if you get maybe any side job or any little thing, it's going to be through the back door. And the people that you're working for will end up paying you peanuts, okay? And there's no union. Nobody will speak for you because nobody knows that you exist, right? And then when it comes to going to school, if you have children and all that, you can't even send them to school because your children have to be permanent residents for them for them to be able to benefit from what the government has to offer, even if they're not permanent residents, but at least, okay, they have to be under a particular program. Let's say it's a refugee program or whatever, right? But they have to be legally documented in Canada under whatever means for them to be able to partake of what Canada has to offer, the free things like maybe education, healthcare, and all that. And if you don't have those things in place and you're already not making enough money to be able to survive, how is the person going to survive? So that's the plight of many people. Many people that didn't know have left their countries of residence where they probably were living good and comfortable lives, but because they're looking for greener pastures, they came in through the wrong way, and then life becomes like hell. They're living in limbo. You can't go back because you don't have anything set up for you to live back home, and then you can't even survive here because the fact that you are not legally documented makes so many things impossible for you to, you know, achieve here. So I just also wanted to put that by the side. There are legal programs, there are normal programs that Canadian government has put in place. They encourage immigration by all means. They want people to come in, and people are coming in every year. So what are these programs? So if we look, we'll just kind of look at these programs briefly, and then in subsequent videos, I'm going to take each of them and, you know, talk about them specifically for those that maybe are not good at just reading through. Because I'm also going to put the link to the authentic Canadian immigration website. I'm going to put it in the comment section and also in the description box below. But in case you're someone that, okay, you read it, but you still want to hear the explanation, I'm going to make subsequent videos to explain them. But I would, first of all, before we go to some of these programs, I would like to say that I recommend that if you are planning to migrate to Canada, that you look at it as a long-term project. And what do I mean by that? Some people, the people we talked about, normally fall into that snare of scammers because they want a quick fix. But the truth remains that for each of these programs that Canada has put in place, there are specific requirements that you have to meet up with perfectly before you can be eligible to apply for them. So if you look at each of the programs, and because there are so many programs, it makes it easier for people because you can choose to either come in through one program or through the other. So, but basically, whichever program you choose, it might be possible that maybe you don't have all the requirements. Let's say there are 10 requirements, you might have 6, and then you need 4 to be able to apply for the one that you are interested in. And so if that be the case, you now look at what are these requirements, how long is it going to take me, is it about money, is it going to be about maybe getting maybe licensed, or maybe whatever it is, what is it that I need to. So when you look at those requirements that you are lacking, then you calculate how long is it going to take you approximately, money wise and whatever else it is. For example, for many people that are going to be coming in, they will need to write the IELTS exam. That's the English proficiency exam. So if you've not written it, how long do I have the money to you know, register and write the exam? Am I going to pass the exam? Do I have the money that I need to pay for the application? So if you look at all these things and know where your pocket is at, and know where you as an individual are at, then you can be able to make an estimate and say, okay, in the next 1 year or in the next 6 months, I should be able to get all these things ready and then go ahead and apply. So that way you will know what you are working towards, and you won't be put under pressure by anybody that comes and say, oh, there's a shortcut, okay? And another thing that I also want to say is that if you want to come to Canada and live here as a permanent resident, okay, live and work in Canada legally, then you don't also have to use an agent. If you are someone that you are very tech savvy, you can use the internet very well and do your research very well, then with the links I'm going to put down there in the description box, as I mentioned, you'll be able to do your own study and research, find the checklist of what you need, the requirements you need for the particular program you are hoping to enter through, okay? And you can do the application by yourself and send it in, and then follow it through. But if you are not someone that, okay, you don't have that confidence, then that's when you have to look for an agent. But even in looking for an agent, you have to make sure that whoever you are using as an agent is qualified to be able to do this for you, because there are many scammers out there that are posing as agents, and they're just taking people's money and telling them, okay, you have to pay money for this, pay money for that, and there is no such thing, okay? So many people I know are applying by themselves, and they are getting it just because they decided to sit down and look at this. And it's not hard. It's just for you to sit down and understand what they are telling you. Even if you want to use an agent, I also recommend that you also go through the program and know what it is, so that when the agent is coming up with something that is fishy, you'll be able to know and either pull away from that agent or correct that person and make sure that he does what you need him to get done, okay? So having said that, I mentioned that there are lots of programs, so many programs there. For example, there's the express entry, and it's mostly for people that are skilled workers, let's say engineers, doctors, nurses, like skilled workers in the workforce. Okay, so there's a program that they can use to apply to come and work and live in Canada. So then, but like I said, we're going to talk more about each of these in the next video, one by one after the other, so that you can be able to have time to know, okay, which is it, which one can I fit into, which one would I like to come in with. Then there's the family sponsorship, and with family sponsorship, if you have a family member that's here in Canada, they can be eligible. If they are eligible to apply for you, okay, let's say they meet the requirements for applying to invite their family members, then they can apply for you. So that was my case. So under family sponsorship, you could have spousal sponsorship. That is where a husband that is in Canada or a wife in Canada can apply for their spouse that is living abroad, okay, to come and join them here in Canada. And then under that same family sponsorship, we have grandparents and parents visa and sponsorship. We have the ones for inviting your dependent children. So let's say maybe the parents came in first before their children, and they didn't apply for the children. They can now apply for their children, dependent children, I guess, as in children that are still depending on them for their livelihood and all that, for them to come and join them in Canada. So that's basically family sponsorship. We're going to talk more about that in another video. Then there's the provincial nominee program, and what that means, provinces are like states, okay? So just like we have different states, let's say in Nigeria or wherever you come from, Canada has about 10 provinces. So each of these provinces have their basic needs, the kind of workers that they are looking for. So let's say one province might have need of more doctors and nurses, and another province might have need of more people that work in the farm, or people that will do construction of houses and all that. So based on the needs of the pressing needs of each province, so there is the province like they have programs where they invite people to come and apply and say, okay, I work in this area that you guys are looking for workers, and then based on that, if you meet all the requirements, then they can now, nominate you and say, come on, go ahead and apply. We have looked at everything you have to say. We need you. Go ahead and apply. And then when you do the application, it will go through due process, and if you are chosen and if you meet their requirements and you are given, then you can come, and then but you have to live in that particular province and work and offer those services that they are looking for. Okay. So there's the one they call startup visa, and startup visa is basically for those that have that have businesses that they would like to that they would like to bring into the Canadian economy to improve. So let's say you have a business idea and all whatnot that will benefit the Canadian economy. So, and they also have requirements that you need to meet up. So you don't just wake up and say, oh, I have this business idea. They have their requirements and what they mean by startup, the business idea, whatever. So if you meet up with those standards, then you can apply through that means. And they also have the one that they call self-employed. So they also have their definition of self-employed. So if you want to come in as someone that is self-employed, is it through culture or through, they have whatever. I'm going to take time, right, and bring out all these points. And then they have the rural and northern immigration pilot and so on. You can also come to Canada as a student, whether it's as a university student or PhD or masters or whatever. So, but the good thing is there are many, for a student, you can come into Canada as a student, but then when you are done with your program, you can decide to leave and, stay back in Canada and work here, and live in Canada. And after a couple of years, then you will be eligible to apply for permanent residency. And there's a way they calculate it. They take some of the years that you've stayed as a student and they can add it to make you more eligible, okay, to qualify for permanent residency. But then it's not every school that you apply for that has that program whereby you are able to stay back legally and begin to work. So if you are looking at that student option, whether to come in as, master's student or whatever, okay, you have to make sure that your school has the option where you can stay back and work in Canada at the end of it all. And then with due time, you can apply for permanent residency, and then later on, when you qualify, to apply for citizenship in that order, okay? So, Having said all that, I just wanted this video to just be to give us a general idea of what you need to know and what you need to avoid. So in summary, there's nothing like Canada visa lottery. It's a scam. Then secondly, you don't have to come into Canada without your papers. Don't even go through that route. It's just frustrating. Just, if you will be patient, find the program that they have lots of programs. The Canada Immigration has many programs that you can use to come into Canada. So look at the program in the description box below. I'm going to put all the link to all those programs. Look out for the program that works best for you. Work on getting your requirements ready so that you can be eligible to qualify, to apply. And then go ahead and apply. And that way, you wait for they also have processing time, so you can know, if I apply today, maybe is it going to take me the next 6 months or the next 1 year to get feedback or whatever. But that way you don't leave everything you have back home and run to Canada and you are left empty-handed. But you can instead go ahead and continue your work, your job, whatever you are doing, while your papers are being processed. And then when it's ready, you just take your bag and take your things and leave honorably. Okay, so I just wanted to leave that there for us. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. But if you enjoyed this video or it was helpful to you, be sure to subscribe so that you can get the notification when I make the other videos explaining these different programs one after the other, so that you'll be able to know the one that you fit into. Okay, so thank you so much for watching and have a great day.